Browns fans, you do anything fun this weekend? It's been an interesting week of news for the Cleveland Browns. Exciting to some, polarizing to others. And look, the theme of the week has been wild. Didn't think that was going to happen from day one of the draft to now. And then before we can even start this segment on winners and losers of the draft, we get another piece of wild news. Deontay Johnson, yes, that Deontay Johnson, the man who's been on every AFC North team, plus the Carolina Panthers in the last 12 months, is now a Cleveland Brown, which begs two questions. One, how long until he's inevitably on the Cincinnati Bengals? And two, is this more than just throwing a flyer out there? I tend to think this is peak flyer throwing, right? Deontay Johnson a year ago in 2023 was a 700-yard wide receiver, 5 touchdowns, productive guy. I think the Browns are betting on him being cut 4 times, my bad, humbling him and seeing what they got. If Deontay Johnson is still an asshole, then they'll just walk away from it. If Deontay Johnson is ready to work, then they can work with Deontay Johnson. It's the same kind of thinking they did with Kadarius Toney, right? We'll see if this project lasts as long as the Kadarius Toney one, but I wouldn't read too much into this. I don't think Deontay Johnson is being brought in to be an example for these young wide receivers or to be the pinnacle of the team's culture to hold us up. I think it's a relative, low risk, high reward kind of signing. The Browns are the team that does have reps available in the wide receiver room. We're going to talk about that in my winners and losers segment for sure. And somebody brought up, Deontay Johnson does have chemistry with Kenny Pickett. So maybe they're thinking reuniting these two could knock something right there with Deontay. If you don't like it, then it's not that deep. It's just not that serious of a signing. And if you do like it, then don't get too carried away with it. It's not that deep. It's not that serious of a signing. We'll see what happens. This is a giant. We'll see what happens with this, right? It might make for a fun training camp on top of everything else that we got going on in training camp. But let's talk about some draft winners and losers real quick. There's some winners and losers from this draft. I think the winners and losers are going to surprise some people. I'll start with the losers. First loser, Mahmoud Diabate. Hate to do it to you, brother. Thought he played well at times last year, but they added another linebacker. They've added 2 linebackers in the offseason. Now, this heavily depends on what's going on with JOK. If JOK is back, Mahmoud's spot is really in trouble. But if JOK is not back, then maybe there's some room for him to be on special teams. Think about Schlesinger's experience on special teams. He's a Mike linebacker. They still have Jordan Hicks, I believe, still on the roster. Like, they have an abundance of linebackers. They brought back Devin Bush. It feels like with the drafting of Carson Schlesinger, that's the odd man out. So unfortunately, Diabate, you're the odd man out. Gonna have to put you in the loser category. I don't think you benefited from what the Browns did in the draft. Next guy I have to put in the loser category, Alex Wright and Juwan Briggs. One of y'all going to have to go. Browns drafted a defensive tackle. They signed another defensive tackle in free agency, so Malik Collins. They still have Shelby Harris. They still have Michael Hall, right? So that's 4 bodies right there. On the edge, you have Joe Tryon, Obo Okoronkwo, Myles Garrett, and you're starting to see right now how that room gets more and more crowded. Most years, the Browns kind of combine the defensive line room. So they combine defensive tackle and edge, and they keep about 10 combined. The Browns have invested in that defensive line with Mason Graham. So that's another body in that room. Juwan Briggs or Alex Wright, maybe they make the team. Maybe they don't. One of them's going to have to go. Jawan Briggs was undrafted last year, but I thought played really well. Mason Graham does fill a little bit of what Jawan does there, but Jawan's still the only real two-gapper in there, right? The guy who can hold up a double team and just be big, be a one-tech. You might need that guy for maybe 200 snaps a season, but those are snaps to be had. Alex Wright, on the other hand, unless they get rid of Obo Okoronkwo, you see, it gets kind of tough, right? And I think Jack Duffin, who works for the OBR, shout out to the OBR, got the shirt on, makes that point a ton that, Alex Wright, just look at the money side of it, might be one of these guys that gets hurt. Another group of guys who I think lost in this draft, I think it's going to surprise some people. Wide receiver. I think if you're a wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, what you saw in the draft, you lost. The reason I say that is simple. It is obvious to me from what the Browns did in that draft that targets are going down, right? If you were hoping to get more targets in that wide receiver room, the targets are going down. We have a four-way quarterback competition. We drafted a tight end and two running backs. You know what that means. Look at me. If you're in that wide receiver room, get ready to learn run blocking because you're going to be doing a lot of run blocking because the targets are going down. You're probably going to see 500 pass attempts this year. Of those 500, 100 going to David Njoku, probably 50 going to Harold Fainin, about 350 targets for all 5 or 7 of you guys to fight over. 100's going to Jerry Jeudy too. So Jerry gets his 100, David gets his 100, Harold gets 50. It's about 250 targets between running backs and all the wide receivers. It's gonna be a lean year. You better take advantage of the targets that you get because the targets are going down. This team is trying to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, run the ball, and chew clock. That is the objective of the Cleveland Browns. That was made clear to us when they drafted Dillon Gabriel, right? Who was the ultimate, we just gonna run the ball quarterback. Right? They got Kenny Pickett in there. Another ultimate, we just going to run the ball quarterback. That seems to be the plan. That seems to be what the get down going to be in that offense. So, Deontay Johnson is a hell of a situation for you to walk into, brother. Because if you think you about to get 100 targets here, good luck with that, brother. Good luck with that. All right, the last loser, Kenny Pickett. Now, maybe this is wish fulfillment. I'll admit it. It might be wish fulfillment. Maybe I just want this to be the case. But Kenny Pickett feels like he has to be a loser in this situation. Why? Because, Dillon Gabriel, don't that feel like a dude you bring in? Because you're like, we can replace Kenny Pickett on the cheap with him. Kenny Pickett still costs $2.3 million. He's not expensive, but he's not the cheapest. You could pay Dillon Gabriel $800K to do what Kenny Pickett's supposed to do. And if it's even between Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel, it's a wrap. Shador has a different spot there, right? Shador, first they're going to see if these red flags are real with him. Me and Cole in a few minutes are going to have a conversation about that. But that's a different role for Shador. Kenny, you're in competition with Dillon. And if Dillon pulls even with you, brother, and there's a good chance he might, it's over. It's over at that point. They're going to try to sneak you on the practice squad or trade you. Don't really see a ton of ways Kenny Pickett has a super long Browns career. I might be wrong on that, but we'll see. Let's go to my winners real quick. DeJuan Jones, Wyatt Teller, Ethan Posick, you won. You won. They are still committed to that core. They did not draft a single offensive lineman in this class. It's 2 years we thought they would go offensive line. They haven't gone offensive line. I don't think it means anything with trends because I remember saying this shit with defensive tackle and look where we live now, right? So that to me feels like they're still committed to this offensive line. They still think DeJuan Jones can lose some weight, play left tackle for them, and be the future at the position. We'll see where Tevin Jenkins ends up playing. We'll see what they do with Eason Posick, but I think they're committed that a lot of the change on the offensive line is going to happen because they have went back to a more familiar system that fits these guys better than it used to. My second winner, Ronnie Hickman Jr., they believe in you. They believe in you. Cleveland may not. A lot of folks on the Twitter may not. The guy that I'm about to bring in to help me host the second part of the show may not. But Cleveland does because you're the only dude back there playing free safety. I tend to think Ronnie Hickman's going to be okay playing free safety because the job's just not that difficult in the Jim Schwartz defense. You just want somebody to babysit over top. And Ronnie Hickman plays that position super safe, which I don't love, but I think the Browns are okay with. So Ronnie Hickman seems like they're going to stick with you, give you at least a chance to start. Shout out to him, undrafted guy. The final winners of the day are Jim Schwartz and Myles Garrett. I have to say this. I saw so many tweets when the Browns took Dylan Gabriel or traded back from 2 of people being like, I can't believe Myles Garrett would re-sign for this. This can't be what Myles Garrett re-signed for. I am like, sure. And you don't even have to know anybody to guess this. Myles Garrett is thrilled to have Mason Graham next to him because Mason Graham is a dominant edge rusher stream. This is a guy who screws up plays, creates pressure, creates havoc, so Myles Garrett can clean it up. If Mason Graham looks anything like he did at Michigan, take the over on Myles Garrett sacks. He's going to eat. And from all reports, they say Myles Garrett is hashtag hyped about bringing in Mason Graham. So, yeah, big winner there. Another big winner, Jim Schwartz finally gets his 3-tech. Finally gets his 3-tech. I've been complaining for years about this team's lack of commitment at the 3T position. We just be putting duct tape solutions down. Well, they shut me up 2 years in a row. Mike Hall, and then a first-round pick on Mason Graham, who, look, the more I watch the tape on Mason Graham, the more excited I get. Yeah, he got his guy. That's his guy. Every Jim Schwartz defense, there's a dude at DT somewhere in that defense for a reason. And he got it. So Myles got what could be his Cam Hayward, and Jim Schwartz got his Ndamukong Suh. He got his guy on the interior. And that's going to free up Myles to do more. That's going to free up Isaiah McGuire to do more. That's going to free up Michael Hall to do more. The defensive line eats with this one. They love this pick. I promise you they do. I bet this was the most popular pick in the defensive line room by far. But those are the winners and losers of the draft, plus a little news on Deontay Johnson. Now let's talk about the big news of the draft weekend. The Shador Sanders slide. And to help me talk about this, I'm going to bring in somebody that I work with from time to time. Can we get Kolb on screen? How you doing, man?
How you doing, my brother? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I was watching Mason Graham tape today, and I'm excited. I am excited. I forgot how good he is at football. Like, I was watching him. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm fine with this.
You know what? I just think it's funny. I think it's funny that now you're fine with it. But when I brought it up, you had a problem.
Yeah, because you was like, we could get Abdul Carter still if we trade back. And I was like, stop, don't. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I was like, maybe, but if we get Mason, it's still cool. Like, we still good.
Yeah.
That's what you said. That's what you said at the moment.
I wanted Abdul Travis. And I'm not going to lie with you. I didn't think we were going to get the extra first. The extra first was the thing you had to sit on where you're like, well, we did get it. Right? Like,
no, let me tell you. So let me tell you real quick before we even get into the Shador stuff. So I was at a draft party, the ESPN Cleveland one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me and Dennis was there. We were sitting at a table, and I got 2 texts. I'm not gonna say from who, but I got 2 texts from 2 different people, and they were like a minute apart, and they were like, "Deal's done." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And that was like, he was like, one of them was like, "Bro, they traded back. They're taking Mason." And this happened. Like, I got the text like 30 minutes before like Twitter found out. And so like I'm like, so me and Dennis are talking about it, and like me and Dennis are like talking about it, and the dudes who we were at the table with, like we told them, and it was like, watch, it's gonna happen on Twitter, it's gonna break on Twitter, and then everybody gonna see it, and then everybody gonna boo. And like 30 minutes later, no lie, news breaks, the entire place like, it was the craziest thing. It was the craziest feeling in the world.
Yeah, it was like I look back, I'm like, the only package I can think that's similar to that is when Philly moved from 6 to 9. They got a future first, but they didn't get the second round pick.
Yeah.
Like, they got the second round pick, and I was like, in a moment, it's hard to get you off that high of getting trapped. And then, like, the worst thing is, you got to bet against them now. And I think that's the worst part of the deal is, like, Travis Hunter might be so good that it's like, damn, bro. I mean, I get it, but I hate it. And it's going to take a lot for him to get to that point, but he's capable of it.
Yeah, I was like, dang, it kind of sucked because I talked myself into Travis.
Because like, what if they go on a playoff run and it's because they have Travis Hunter and it's like a double whammy?
This
like,
is gonna be the worst trade of all time.
Yeah, like, you know, there's a lot of ways you can see it going wrong, and there's a lot of ways it could go right because it is Jacksonville. They are the one team that lost to Deshaun Watson last year. Like, I would not just write them into the playoffs, right? So it's tough, right? But hey, my thing once we traded back was like, don't trade back again. Because once I heard double trade back, I almost threw up in my mouth. But
they were thinking about it too.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad they didn't do it.
They were thinking about it.
Yeah, like I can stomach it now because at least I got Mason Graham. But if you made me do this and we getting Ted McMillan,
I was about to say, yeah, they take Ted at 10.
Yeah. Or, you know, you making me do this and we take Kelvin Banks or something. Nah, I'm not in. Like, I don't care what you got at that point. I'm out. Right? Like, you can have 2 first-round picks in 2026. I'm out. And I know people are like, well, how do you even know if the quarterbacks are good next year? Do you trust this team to scout the quarterbacks? What this team is hoping for is that it's a situation where they don't even got to be good at scouting it. Right? Did you need to be good at scouting it to draft Joe Burrow?
No.
A lot of times, if a quarterback's worth taking in the first round, this is the secret. You don't have to be good at scouting when you're taking a quarterback in the first round. That's the whole idea, right? Is that you don't got to be good. Everybody's like, that dude's good. Take that guy. So if they're trying to trade up for a quarterback next year, or if they just have it with their own pick, that is the hope, right? If Arch Manning is the number 1 overall pick, you ain't got to be good at scouting quarterbacks. They're going to let you know if they do good.
Or if Lenore Sellers or Cade Klubnik or whoever.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's the hope, is that next year has a guy where you ain't even got to do all that for him. Right? Like, this is not going to be a marker of your ability. Like, it would be a no-brainer. But let's talk about the Shador slide, because I've heard a lot about this slide. And I think there's a lot of different people are coming into this, taking out what they wanted to come in with it, taking out. Here's how I view this. I talked to you about this, and you've been with me on this whole process. I've never been a Shador top 10 guy. Like, I've always felt like Shador was going to go outside the top 10.
Yeah.
And I've always entertained the conversation him fall to the second round. Like, I always thought it was possible. So day 1 didn't surprise me. Now, day 2, that was a bit surprising. Did not expect day 2 to go down in the way that it did. But when you put everything together, I think the best way to describe this to folks is in video game terms. And Kobe, you are a degenerate gamer, so I think you'll get the way that I'm going to use this.
Degenerate is crazy, but go ahead.
You degenerate. Yeah, you downloaded Elder Scrolls before it was out. Okay.
No, I downloaded Elder Scrolls as soon as it came out. Come on now.
That was a surprise release, Cole.
Yes,
How did you know it released?
Oh, because Ro told me, but
degenerates. Okay, but nonetheless, you know when you excited for a video game, the trailer dropped and it's dope, right? You get that announcement trailer. Hey, I can't wait, and they say it's gonna release this date. And then you get closer. It's like, oh man, like, you know, a couple of press conferences happen. We haven't seen anybody do a hands-on. And then you get like to the week of the release, you like, ain't nobody drop a review on this game. And then, you know, it's the day before the game launch, and you like, I don't know if I want to drop 70 on this. I think I'll wait. This might be a day one patch situation. I think that's kind of what happened to Shador here. His pre-draft was awful. And I have been screaming about this. You have heard witness to me screaming about this for months about like, yo, why isn't he doing any of the stuff? Have I or have I not?
You were kind of like, hey, it's a little weird that he's not doing anything. Because Cam didn't really do anything either, but it was like, hey, Cam going first so that he can do that. He can afford to do it.
Look, they made that decision early. That Cam was going to go one.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, Cam don't have to do that. Why is he not doing it?
Once it became obvious that Cam was going to go one and you were, I'm like, son, you got to run a 40 at your pro day. And I go back to the East-West Shrine game because I remember when it happened, everybody just assumed that he was going to be a top 3 pick. But when he first chose the East-West Shrine game, because it's more controlled, Prime had more control over that, bunch of Colorado guys there. He does 2 interviews with 2 teams and pulls out the entire event. And I remember thinking, that's strange. Everybody that was there was like, oh, he's going to be a top 3 pick, was all excited, all this stuff. And I was like, I don't think he's that good that he could just pull out and not practice at the All-Star circuit. Like, son, you got to go out there and show them what you got. Also, when you're a prospect like Shador, right? Because Cam Ward can roll out there in shorts and remind you why you want to take him number 1.
Right.
You ain't got that, Shador. Right? Like, Shador did not have that. Shador is like, I'm going to win with my mind and my accuracy and my skill as a quarterback. Well, son, you got to practice. Like, you got to do all the other stuff if you want to prove to people that you're that guy. And it seems like there was a disconnect. And I can imagine how this disconnect happens. It seems like a lot of his pre-draft was handled by his father. And internally, they have understood that that was a mistake. One, his father is coaching an entire college football program while also trying to manage your pre-draft. That seems like a full-time job. So probably not the best splitting of duties there. 2, hey, man. If I had a son who threw 40 touchdowns and had a 77% completion percentage in the Big 12, I think he's Peyton Manning too. I'd be on there talking about he ain't got to do all this. You ain't got to run the combine. You ain't that different than Cam. You know, I would fall into the trap too. And I think they overestimated exactly who Shador Sanders was in this process and who he was viewed at. Put him on a pedestal that GMs did not think he belonged on. And you know what happens when somebody get put on a pedestal people don't think they deserve? All you think about is how to take him off. Yeah, he ain't got this. He ain't got that. You start forgetting that he do stuff that's good, right? So it created that kind of environment on him. And then you give off the impression to NFL teams that you aren't prepared at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And look, I know people were shocked about the Dylan Gabriel thing, but hindsight being 2020, I get it. Because the only quarterback you draft is not about to be the dude you don't think prepares.
Yeah, can't be.
Yeah, like if you go draft an adult in the room before you draft that dude.
And we need to talk about this. especially because I reacted extremely poorly to Dylan Gabriel being a top 100 pick. I lost.
He's not a top 100 pick. He's like he was outside the 150 for me.
Yeah, like I was like, why would you do this?
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've had some time to just examine the Dylan Gabriel pick a little bit more closely, I completely understand why he got picked before Shador did.
Yeah. And again, there are questions you can have at wide receiver that don't matter. Ted McMillan went ninth. People don't think he watched tape. Right? Like, it don't matter. Do you know what a triangle is? Like, can you run the route with the triangle on it? That's all I need you to do, right? Corner route. Come back. 9. That's all I need you to know. Can you count to 10? That's it. That's all you need to know, right? But quarterback is not one of those positions. There are obviously other factors that will accelerate these things. That's not a topic for this show. But we all know there's other factors there that Shador is dealing with when it comes to perception. And you cannot give off the vibe at any point in this process, especially when you are win with your mind guy, that you might not prepare or take this seriously. And who knows? It might have just been bad management where they're like, hey, you ain't got to really do all this. Was it Michael Porter on the Nuggets?
Yes.
They did that thing where they didn't give their medicals out to teams they didn't want to take him, and that led to him dropping to 14.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this stuff happens. DeJuan Jones, another example on this team, right? Should have been a first-round pick, ended up falling all the way to the 4th round. Why? Because he left the Senior Bowl and never talked about it. like, and then got an interview. They said he loves basketball. This kind of stuff does matter when you aren't an undeniable talent. And Shador is a good prospect. He's not an undeniable prospect.
Nah.
And, maybe people look at it differently if that's the case. But I think really what happened with Shador was they overestimated. They played this wrong. And now there's a perception out there that dude don't prepare. And that's a tough one. That's a death sentence if you're drafted. If I'm drafting a quarterback and you telling me, hey, this dude's tape's amazing, but I don't know if he really studies like that because his whiteboard session with the Giants was awful. Ooh. Like all of a sudden, you see how somebody doesn't want to take him in the first and most certainly not in the second. Now, how he gets through the 3rd and 4th, bigger questions. Right?
Yeah.
Bigger questions there, right? But I understand how you don't go in the top 50 that way. I think that's really what happened here, right? If the league was trying to humble him, he would be undrafted right now. He would be trying to catch on with the UFL team. The league is brutal. Don't forget this. The league is brutal, okay? The league is not kind. The league does not do half measures. If they want your ass up out of there, you up out of there. Like, has Antonio Brown ever played for anybody ever again?
Nope.
Hey, will he ever sniff the field again?
Nope.
Hey, look, you want to know how brutal the league is? Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles, and they was talking about how we could take the money away because he tore it. This is what we talking about.
Yeah,
this is the level of league talking about. Okay, like this ain't the NBA. Like this is the NFL. If they didn't want him in there, he'd be up out of there, right? I think he gave general managers a reason to get cold feet, and then the whole Sanders thing magnified that, because now it's like, oh well, he's famous. Oh well, is he going to disturb our starter? Oh well, and it just turned into something that got bigger and bigger. So my thing is, first 50 picks, he fell out of there because he definitely screwed up the pre-draft process. All them other picks Well, that's got to do with the fact because this boy famous and he got commercials and he gonna be your third string quarterback more than likely. Like,
you say they ain't trying to deal with the circus. They ain't trying to deal with the circus.
I wouldn't even call it a circus. If let's put it like this. Let's say you got Baker Mayfield on your team.
Okay.
You trying to bring in Shador as your third quarterback?
No. Well, actually, yeah, because it doesn't bother me because you're not playing. There's no chance you're gonna play if Baker's here.
What? Well, yeah, you might not mind that. How you think Baker gonna feel about that?
Honestly, I think Baker will probably be fine because he ain't gonna play. He ain't gonna play over you. There's no chance.
He quit the Browns off the rumor that we were interested in Deshaun Watson.
Okay, well let's look at the context of that though. let's look at the context of the kind of quarterback Deshaun was before that happened, and Shador Sanders, 5th round pick.
It's the same thing. There's going to be pressure. It's going to be loud. Don't nobody want that. Look at all the good quarterbacks. Who's Joe Burrow's backup right now? Is it somebody you know?
Oh, dang. I did know who their backup was. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, because he's not famous. That's why you can't think of his name. Who got famous backups? Name me one established quarterback with a famous backup. Why you think it was hard for Cam Newton to get a backup job? Ain't nobody trying to have a backup quarterback with more commercials than the starter.
Yeah.
And that's not Shador's fault for having those deals out there. Good on him. But that's the kind of goofy shit that made him fall all the way to the 5th round, right? The Browns were like, all right, man, we ain't even really got a starter. Like, we might as well be the team that do this, right? But if you got Geno Smith ain't got no commercials, but Shador do. What did Geno start getting jealous? Geno like, my chain don't shine like that.
I don't think
my car don't look like that.
Geno not gonna be jealous, I don't think.
Hey man, you don't know. These dudes have egos. Cole, imagine if somebody got hired under you at your job, and next thing you know, they showing up with a nicer chain than you. You know, they got a better camera than you. Their background look crazy. It's like they live in a better house than you. Then, you know, they show up to the meeting. Y'all show up to the SB Nation meeting. My man pulling up in a car 3 times nicer than any car you've ever had. Talk about I'm just trying to learn from you, big bro. Stay away from me.
I feel like you were projecting an entirely different thing out on.
Hey, I ain't the only one. Ain't nobody try to have that. Nah. You ain't trying to have that as your backup? Are you serious? No.
Is this the RD? Is this the RDC World
skit? RDC World thing, yes.
It's RDC World skit.
Yeah. Because also, you know, if you get hurt and he plays well, it's over.
It's over. Yeah, over.
If you're Tua and you get hurt and he plays well, it's over. It's over. And here's the thing also you got to keep in mind. We saw this with Denzel Ward. The people on the team want to have Shador be successful because Shador is famous.
I'm glad you brought this up because I've been thinking about this since this happened. Imagine being Dylan Gabriel, right? You got picked exactly 50 picks before this dude.
Mm-hmm.
You are a top 100 selection. Listen, he's going to make the roster 100% just based off where he got drafted.
And Cole, this is my point. This is the thing though. And it's not even about Shador. It's just like, dang, bro. Nobody showed me any kind of love like that. Here's the thing. Probably didn't know you got drafted. That's the thing. This is my main point. He probably didn't know Dylan Gabriel got drafted, so he didn't tweet nothing because he didn't care. He wasn't paying attention that deep. He was probably doing workouts. He's Denzel Ward. He got money and shit. He don't know, right? But you know what he got a notification for? When Shador got drafted. Why? Because Shador's famous, right? Shador throws a couple good passes. We're going to start seeing everybody do this, right? Imagine you're the starter. You're on crutches. Shador steps in, does good, and you see the whole locker room bust down my AP, like doing a dance with them, and you like, I done lost them. That's the fear. It could be gone in an instant. And Baker Mayfield, Mr. I stole somebody's job before, I promise you, this is the man that's worried about this. Kirk Cousins is a perfect example of this. Didn't want nothing to do with no Mr. Steal My Job energy in Atlanta, right? Because he knew what it was. Once that man got in there in Atlanta with the do-rag on, started throwing touchdowns, it's over. They ain't never going to want me back here. And that's the thing. Shador was going to win over the locker room if he plays well. They want him to, it's like Odell, right? Where Odell was so famous, everyone's like, no, we want him to be good. And it's like, oh, you know, if you coming in there and you playing real regular, everybody in the locker room going to be doing like, hey, man, I wonder what we look like with the kid in. Like, that's just what it is. And that's why I'm like, you can't. Everybody gonna be thinking about it. Dylan Gabriel, ain't nobody thinking about him if you down by 21. He Dylan Gabriel. Half the people don't know him. Shador got drafted. My girl texted me. Okay, that's different.
my uncle and my mom texted me.
Yeah, it's different.
It's like, oh, we took Deion's son. I was like, oh Lord.
Who Myles Garrett was 3 months ago. She knew about Shador. Okay, like, is what it is. That man is famous, and I think that once he fell out the top 50, it became a dicey proposition because now he's not guaranteed to be your starter, right? All that famous stuff is cool if you about to start him, but the whole unpreparedness made you not want to make him the next guy you get the mantle to. And then once he falls out of that range, it's like, hey, man, I don't think that'd be cool if we put Baker in that situation. If you're that GM, I don't think it'd be cool if we put Matt Stafford in that spot, right? Like, you could do it, but you might be causing hell for your starter. Because also a lot of people who like Shador aren't football fans. They're not going to care what Matt Stafford out here doing. They're going to want the dude they know in.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So you got to think about that. And that's why I'm like, no team with the established starter was ever going to take him. That's why Las Vegas was trying to hide from the responsibility. They traded back like 4 times, hoping somebody else do it. Because they lied to that dude. Like, they was like, they probably led him on to everything. They lied. They was like, hey, we gonna do it. If you here, we gonna do it. They kept trading back, trying to avoid it. Ended up with 2 picks in a row to end the night. Made it worse. Okay? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's simpler than people think it out to be. I don't think there's a conspiracy. I think this is just, you know, the highs and lows of being a Sanders family kid, right? Hey, the high is you got to play 4 years of college football as a starter when that absolutely was not going to be the case coming out of high school.
Yep.
You got room to develop that no other prospect would have gotten because your father was the coach. And you turned into a good player. That is the benefit. The downside is, boy, any baggage people feel about Colorado, Deion, the moment you give them an inch, it's there. I go back to remember how Dan Lanning was acting?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think any coaches in the NFL feel like Dan Lanning?
Of course they do.
Yeah. You know, you don't think they out there making their little snide comments, right? About Instagram and all that, even though all the top picks have their own YouTube channel now, right? But Shador stands out, right? Because it's the Colorado on it. There's a whole lot that young man was battling. And he did himself no favors by not doing all this stuff. And I hope this is a lesson to the next guy who is in his position. Son, listen to me. You got to do the shit. Okay? Josh Allen did the shit. You got to do it. Baker Mayfield, he did the Senior Bowl, he did the Combine, and a Pro Day. Son, you got to do it. You got to do it. Right? If you want the job, you got to interview. And unless you built like Myles Garrett and you could throw the ball like Josh Allen, then son, you got to do the stuff. And this is a prime example of what happens when you don't do the stuff and you're in the position that Shador is in. Because also, once you fell past that point, people weren't confident in, hey, is this kid going to be mature enough to handle a backup role. And then boom, you fall all the way to the 5th round. I ain't saying it's fair. I ain't saying it's what it is. Well, I am saying it is what it is. But that's how you end up here. It's not that hard to figure out. We've been watching football a lot. Nothing I said here is a new concept. Like, especially in the draft. Oh, famous guy? Don't want to draft the famous guy outside the 1st round? Yeah, that happens all the time. Like, we saw what happened with Baker Mayfield when people thought his fame outplaced his play.
Had to go.
And they brought in Deshaun. like, so that, I think, is a huge part of this. And look, I get why the Browns were ultimately very hesitant to bring him in, because this is still the same regime that dealt with some of that shit they had to deal with Baker, which is not too dissimilar to what you're going to have to deal with if Shador is good. Because I bet in the back of Kevin's mind, it's like, hey, he might be a good soldier for 2 years, but let him get good. He's going to do that shit. You know? He never got worried about Dylan Gabriel doing that.
No, bro, did you see how they reacted to that pick? Did you watch the video of the reaction?
Much into it, but yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I was like, my reaction was...
Go ahead.
My reaction to like the video of like them talking to him after they made the pick, I was like, oh, they love this dude. Like they love this dude.
And like when you taking somebody after your first like 4 picks, you kind of just taking vibe guys. Right? Like I remember reading this, but a lot of people in Hollywood, their whole careers, I like to spend a day with them on set. Because like after a while, it don't really matter if you can act. like unless we not doing no Oscar award winner, you not the lead. You got like 10 lines, dog. We gonna bring in Anthony Mackie because he cracked me up. Like that's kind of what the vibe is in day 3. I mean, we not looking for Myles Garrett. We looking for some dudes who go work hard, play special teams, maybe. Punt team, like, you know, that's what you're looking for, intangibles. So it's just a tough spot. It's a real tough spot. And yeah, with the whole reaction to it, I think with Shador in particular, they do have to play a tight line here. They cannot give off the vibe
preferential treatment, or like you happy, or like any like you
that they're treating this like he's a 1st round pick, right?
Yeah.
They have to make it clear this dude is a 5th round pick. Like they not rolling out the red carpet. They don't want to give that impression because they know they're playing with dynamite. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised, Cole, if we don't even see him in the preseason debut. Like,
nah, they gotta put him out there.
Yeah. Or if they put him out there, they're gonna put him out against 1st team defense so he don't look great. Because they start putting him out there, he looks good. You're gonna deal with the monster, right? Not him, but I'm talking about the excitement around it.
Yeah,
because again, a good
media
people won't know you're watching.
Do you understand? Do you understand how many people I saw on Twitter saying that they're going to follow the Browns now just because he's on the team?
Yes,
it was a significant amount of people.
Well, and also the fall in the draft made him a bigger star.
Yeah,
because now he's an underdog. So if the Browns are smart, they understand what they think. You can't put that man out there unless he's ready. Like, I would be very careful with how the public sees him. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, and mark my words here, April 28th, if Tony Grossi goes on a podcast or somebody who's always there, it's like, you know, it's kind of frustrating. They never let us see him. And like, you know, and I think that's for a reason. Because if he cooking, they ain't trying to let you know. And if he not cooking, they really ain't trying to let you know. because it's gonna be hard to treat this dude like he a 5th round pick. He has a Delta commercial on TV right now.
Gatorade commercial.
He's the marketing force of the draft.
Yeah.
I saw him more than I saw Travis.
Facts. It was weird.
He was
Travis went, and Travis went too.
And if you think, by the way, those teams are looking at the TV broadcast while they're in that war room.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think it ain't bugging them that this dude's still available around 4 and they see the Gatorade commercial, he tripping. Like they're being reminded of it every time the draft goes into commercial break, how much of a deal it's going to be if you bring this guy in and how that force might overwhelm your starting quarterback. Because yeah, it's easy to say right now, if you Baker Mayfield, you're going to be fine with it. But when 100 people who don't really watch you start talking about how Shador going to start over you, you think Baker Mayfield petty ass ain't going to have something to say? You think Emily Mayfield going to let that just slide?
Why you got to bring her?
I'm just telling you because we know what goes down.
Just saying, it's no reason for us to bring that into this. You know,
I'm saying we know how it's gonna go down. Somebody gonna react to something. It's gonna turn into a whole big thing. Don't let somebody have the wrong reaction, and it's front page news. This is a huge part of it. The Browns are fortunately not in that position. Who we gonna upset? Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I don't care about how Kenny Pickett feels about this.
Kenny Pickett understands nobody care how he feel too. He said congratulations to Shador immediately.
Yeah.
I like how Kenny Pickett trying to like slide in there. Like he's filled a leadership void at quarterback right now. And Kenny Pickett is like really trying to fill that void.
Trying to be the leader. Yeah, the leader. You gotta make them feel like
who texted you what you got on the team? Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, and Kenny Pickett. What you doing in there, Kenny? Like, well, I'm the quarterback. Are you? Like he's been the only guy that's announced himself the starter. Look, he's manifesting this job.
Listen, I respect it. It's an uphill battle for you, but I respect it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle this. Because I don't know if it'll be a good or bad thing. What if Sanders starts lighting it up?
Put your wrist up, man. Put your wrist up.
You know,
we rolling with Shador.
Here's the thing, too. I have different piles for why guys fall. The pile that never works out is this guy got injured. Nah. If a guy falls like Will Johnson did because he's injured, stay away from him. I'm still waiting for David Ojabo to be an extra first-round pick for the Ravens. Like, stay away. That's never a good thing. Remember, Ekpre Olumu fell to the 7th round.
Who?
Ifo Ekpre Olumu. He was supposed to be a first-round corner in 2013. He got hurt towards ACL.
Isn't that who the Browns took?
Yeah, in the 7th round.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be a first round. Everybody's like, we got a first rounder in the 7th. Nah, you got a no-rounder in the 7th. My man was injured. He was never going to play again. They knew something. So injury red flags, okay, nah. Character red flags, mixed history of working out. Right? League-wide, mixed history of working out. I wouldn't put him in the character red flag because I say character red flags are a police officer was involved.
But Mike Green stuff.
Yeah, not GMs think you an asshole. That's not character, right?
Like Mike Green being a projected first round pick and then falling to the end of the 2nd round to the Ravens, that is character issues.
And sometimes that works out. Joe Mixon,
Tyreek
Hill. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Antonio Callaway. Perion Winfrey. Okay. Like,
hey, that was big of you.
Hey, look, it's not like they're gonna let me forget it. like, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Now the red flags, I'm like, oh, those are the ones you want to take. Hard evals, right? DeJuan Jones, hard eval. Couldn't get a read on him. Too weird, right? Dak Prescott, ultimate weird eval. Have you ever watched a Dak Prescott college game, Cole?
No.
Do it tonight. Just watch like a Dak Prescott highlights in college, or like a Dak Prescott versus this team, like a little 15-minute cut up. It tell me if you would have saw it coming. Like, because I remember I watched that. I went back and watched. I'm like, wow, he's a completely different player. Like, he just went to Dallas, became somebody different. Hard eval. I would throw Shador Sanders in the hard evaluation category. I think the Sanders family really messed up. I called him Bigfoot because they kept like changing the view and making it weird to get a good grip on him. Why is he doing his pre-draft interview with Travis Hunter? That's stupid. Stepbrothers? Like, you interviewing together? That's dumb. Do your own interview. Why are you doing this? So you can stay away from the whiteboard? Like, that's strange. Hard eval. I don't know if he could do it or not. He didn't try. Like, and maybe that's the problem, right? The Russell Westbrook quote to Jeff Teague. That's the problem. Like, maybe that is. Maybe he learned a lesson, right? But I would throw Shador firmly in that's a hard eval. Okay. The tape's pretty good. Nobody's going to sit here and tell me the tape is outside of day one of the draft. Like, we talked to multiple people. We talked to JP where he was like, oh yeah, I would have him like behind or in front of JJ McCarthy.
I believe JP said that he would take Shador before he took Cam. I can't remember if he said that. If he was the one.
I don't know. I don't think he said that.
I think Corey was the one.
Corey would.
Corey was the one who was like, I would absolutely take Shador before I take Cam.
There are dozens of us, right? But yes, dozens. Well, yeah, it is. I don't think that was JP, but it is like the tape is good. The tape does not look like an unprepared football player. It's not like watching Johnny Manziel. You're like, oh, this dude don't study. Like,
oh, he doesn't look like Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah. Well, it is funny, too, because, like, you could argue that Cam Ward's tape kind of looks like that shit at sometimes. Like, but he's not the dude that got the scrutiny. Like, because, like, a lot of the stuff you can say about Shador. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. We'll see if I ever get to do the ultimate victory lap on that. Because if this works out for the Browns and Cam Ward don't work out, I'm being sick.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say you're about to be insufferable.
Oh yeah, obnoxious. Oh, for sure.
The worst pod's coming.
I ain't never letting it go. Yes. But no, seriousness, it's just the difference between how they view you. Like, it didn't matter that Cam didn't do any of that stuff. It did for Shador. So one team viewed Cam as undeniable. Two teams did. The Giants and the Titans. He ain't got to do none of that stuff. Don't nobody care that he kind of play like he don't know the playbook. But hey, Shador, no team's committed to you. And now all that little stuff matters. And this is why you do the stuff, young people. Okay? This is why if you are getting the interview, even if your homeboy got a foot in the door, just do the stuff because you never know what it's going to come down to.
You were very adamant about this. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, extremely adamant about this. Just do
because I've not done this stuff before. Like, and been wondering why I ain't get it. I qualify. I ain't do the stuff. Like, that's why.
Do the stuff.
Do the stuff. I get it. It's not fair. It's stupid. All it is, it's OD. Yeah, I know. But do you want the job? Then you better get that two-piece menswear house suit and you better go and interview like your daddy told you to do it. Like, that's just what you got to do. Get them thin-ass dress socks and get on that interview.
Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do.
Yep. You got to do what you got to do to get the job that you want to get. And Shador kind of went in there thinking they was going to give him this job. And they violently told him, hey, man, we not drafting unreliable at quarterback. And that's what you gave us. Hope he learns from it. And look, he not going to learn from this in the next 3 months. This going to take years for him to be like, damn, I guess that's why I fail. Like, I don't want people just expecting like he's going to instantly learn the lesson. Lessons like this take years, like, to really settle in there. Like, if I'm being real,
bro. Hey, you see how long it took Baker?
It took him being cut twice.
Yeah,
and being in a competition with Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask,
like to be like, where did my life go? Okay, like, and I bet the lesson was starting when he got cut from Cleveland, but it didn't finish for a couple of years, right? And now he better off. Hey, so we'll see with Shador. Hopefully, he puts the work in and becomes the first fifth round surprise for this Cleveland Browns team. And you know, we got our wrist up, and we got an answer at quarterback, and everybody's like, I can't believe y'all let us get him in the 5th round. But you know what we ain't gonna be worried about? That Mason Graham dog. He gonna be so good. Oh,
bro, I watched the film. I watched the film breakdown today. I was like, yep. Oh, we got one.
Oh, did you watch his USC game?
I watched the USC game. Ooh. And the Ohio State games where he was just oh my god. Just dog walking first round picks.
Let me tell you something. And I'm starting to look at that Carson Schlesinger tape.
Hey, Carson. Hey,
he got it.
Hooper.
You got it. Now I can't wait to look at that Harold Fannin tape. Oh man. Crack that shit open.
Carson one of the ones. He tried to hit something. He tried to hit something. Dog.
Good eyes too. Reacts well. Moves in space. Listen, I'm like, oh.
You're right about all of that. When I tell you he is trying to hit something every play.
He's big too for a linebacker. He's like 6'4", 6'3", 240.
He like 240 and he's fast.
No, that was one pick because I wasn't too familiar with this game before we selected him. And then we selected him and I saw what the young man looks like, and I was like, nah, this dude's gonna be good. Like,
man, somebody told me good play. Like I got a message immediately in the group chat. It was like, good player.
Everybody really who's ever watched this dude play texted me. Like, that's how excited. My boy Sonny, he's a Raven fan. I do AFC North talk with him. He immediately hit me up. I love that pick. Like, I hate that pick for us. I was like, oh, he must be good. Like,
somebody said, poor man's Luke Kuechly. I said, I'm in.
Oh yeah,
I'm in immediately.
Look, when I saw Jason Tarver smile, like, I was like, oh, we finally got him, this boy. Like, okay, hey, if Jason's in for it, then I'm good. All right, yeah. Jason done turned Devin Bush into a solid player. I can't never question this man because I was questioning him a lot about that day, Devin Bush.
Dane Brugler said this was his favorite pick of the draft.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Baldy did a breakdown immediately. I was like, oh, okay.
We got him and Mason Graham first 2 picks. I was, hey. This defense about to be something, dog. Let me tell you.
All the people were like, "That's good. Y'all got that's good." Like,
this defense about to be something nasty. Let me tell you.
Woo. Myles Garrett with some interior help. It's gonna be disgusting. And then like we got good interior now, so the linebackers can run free. Hey,
no more running all over this defense. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Man, Mason Graham, dog. It's like, you know what it's like watching Mason Graham. It's like he's slippery at defensive tackle.
Bro, you literally can't block him. You can't block him.
He's
it's
always
so funny.
In control. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like even crazier because he got like offensive center swag. Like he got no arm sleeves, no socks, just goes out there with the 55 jersey on. And I'm like, he looked like he plays center.
He really does. He kind of got like I don't know how to
describe
describe it.
He's 315 pounds, but he don't look that big.
Nah.
But then you watch him, it's like, well, size is not an issue. And he has bend. The bend is ridiculous.
Bro, he has these push
the
pull.
Cavs must be doing something outrageous, right?
Yeah, you see the comments? You see the comments? It's 35-8.
Oh, we're going to the finals, dog. This team, they look like this in game 4. Oh,
they got the belt out. Oh my lord! Ooh, they brought the belt out for this one. No Darius.
Yeah, I'm telling you. This last thing we'll say that we got to head out. People be like, oh, yeah, the Cavs, they need 25 for Darius and Donovan. See, that's how I know you don't watch the Cavs, because the Cavs are not dangerous when Darius and Donovan are scoring a lot. It's usually when they're playing one of the worst games. When Darius or Donovan, one of them has like 10 points, oh, watch out.
You know what I said? You know what I said before game 3?
What?
Like, people are gonna find out that if Darius isn't out there, you literally not gonna be able to score the Cavs. I was like, people about to find it out really fast. If Darius is not out there, you're not scoring on them.
And the funniest thing is, like, you get convinced, oh, are they better without Darius? And then Darius comes back, drop 30. Like, it's the nastiest end of game shots you've seen. And you're like, they're just good. They're just really, really good.
The weak link in the defense is not out there. You're not scoring.
Yeah. And like low-key, Darius is a pretty strong weak link.
He tries hard. He tries extremely hard.
Hey, look, we found out what a weak link looked like. Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
That is, we doing anything tonight. And then we talking shit about it. Afterwards. But Cole, thank you for coming on. I think we had a fun conversation. This will be the last QC Live for a little bit. We're going on hiatus, summer break. But if you want to check out more of me and Cole, we're going to be live tomorrow. Hopefully we can get JP on. He deserves it. We done brought that man over to talk about misery enough. He gets to be happy about Travis Hunter on our pod. Not looking forward to that. You know,
we might push the JP. We might push the JP episode back a week.
No, we got to do it now. JP was on Blue Sky, just like a kid at 12 o'clock in the morning after the draft. I can't believe we got Travis Hunter on my team. I had to comment, go to sleep. But it's gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun off season. Lock in, man. Training camp's gonna be all time training camp in Berea this year.
All time, greatest of all time.
Oh yeah. Get your tickets ready. It's about to go down. But y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.